So once a bike's been launched and it's out in the market, you only have to look at it to figure out who the target market for it is. By that I mean, if you close your eyes and picture who you think should be riding a BMW GS, you can see a slightly overweight guy who's probably got decent money in his pocket, mid to late 40s. Picture a Triumph Ruxton R and it's the same guy, but he's not as fat and he's got a gym membership. So when you picture who KTM are trying to reach with all this orange and all of these kind of funky fireworks that are going off everywhere, it's clear to see that they're trying to cut through to that youth market. Now, when the launch invite came through for the 790 Duke, everybody got excited, apart from me. I've got no hair, I've got decent taste in shoes, and I'm knocking on a little bit. So we thought that we needed to send somebody youthful, somebody exuberant, somebody who has holes in his jeans on purpose, not by accident, somebody with stupid hair, not no hair, and somebody who probably still needs to just make sure he's stood on tiptoes when he's ordering a pint of beer in the pub. Come on, you little spunker.
You alright, Grandad?
This is Carl from Fast Bikes. He's off to ride the 790 Duke. So Carl, why don't you set the scene? Where did you go and what did you do?
Well, it's a pretty special bike. So KTM flew us all the way out to Gran Canaria where we could get some guaranteed sunshine and properly nice roads. They're quite twisty, they're quite small, they're quite thin, and the road surface is absolutely delicious.
And this is probably the first time you've been abroad without your mum and dad? So as much as we're going to laugh about the fact that Carl is only 22, he's racing in British Superstock this year, knows his way around a bike, knows his way around a track. He's a road tester at Fast Bikes magazine. He knows what he's doing. So Gran Canaria, what happened? Where did you go?
Jumped on board the 790 and we took it for a little ride, and we actually ended up in an aircraft hangar to start off with. And this is where they gave us a briefing, told us all about the bike.
So before we get into the technical detail of the bike, I know that you and I have already been drawing comparison with things like MT-07 and Street Triple, two quite obvious competitors to the new 790 Duke.
Yeah, well the middleweight market is just so savage. There's so many different options, and KTM were telling us that in that market alone there was 130,000 bikes sold last year, so it's absolutely massive. They actually have stolen a lot of stuff from Super Duke. We all know how good Super Duke cars' electronics are, so we've got it's fully adjustable traction control, we've got cornering ABS, we've got wheelie control, we've got launch control, we've got a quick shifter, we've got an auto blipper. You literally
clutchless up and down?
Clutchless up and down. And it's even got a power assisted slipper clutch as well. It literally has all the bells and whistles. It's got stuff on it that you'd expect on a top of the range sports bike, and that all comes completely as standard. The power figure comes in at 105 horsepower, so it isn't actually the highest power. The real big figure, and I think is probably the most important thing with a brand new engine, is it delivers 86 newton meters of torque. So it's a completely new engine with completely new components. It's got forged pistons.
And what about the weight, ready to ride with fuel and oil and all that stuff?
So it comes in at 174 kilos, and I know that sounds like it's a fair bit, but to be honest, it really isn't. When you sit on the bike, it's so agile and it's got such a low seat height, it doesn't feel like there's any weight on it at all. Like, it's actually 5mm lower than the 390 Duke.
But I think it's still just marginally up on MT-07.
Yeah, it's about 20mm higher than the MT-07, but if that's something you're worried about, they do a lowering kit as well.
So in on paper and spec sheet terms, it's actually probably closer, despite that power figure, to Street Triple than MT-07 just because of all of the software and those headline power and weight figures.
The power figure isn't something that I'd worry about on paper because KTM have been testing this bike against all its main competitors, and they're
Street Triple.
Yeah, and they're pretty confident with it. As far as the engine goes, it's a twin, but it doesn't sound like a twin. It almost sounds like a single. They've been working absolute magic with the firing order. With the underseat exhaust, as it fires out, it literally sounds KTM. It sounds aggressive, it sounds brutal. It's got a proper gargle. As soon as you're hitting the downshifts and stuff, it's giving you pops and bangs on the overrun like a race bike. It's absolutely
Stock pipes.
Stock pipes, but you can get obviously power parts, slip on,
which is, you know, the KTM accessory catalogue is
huge,
a thing to behold. But if we stick with the stock parts, what about the suspension and brakes?
The suspension comes as always, as WP. The front forks are not adjustable, they're 43mm upside down fork, and the rear shock is preload adjustable, a WP system as well.
So the brakes are unbranded or branded KTM calipers at the front.
4-piston, twin 300mm discs. So
coupled with this cornering ABS system.
the cornering ABS, it's about doing as much as you can to save the rider without...
Getting in the way of the ride.
Yeah, without destroying the ride. And I think that's been the whole approach in all the electronics. Everything you can turn off, like the wheelie control, traction control, even the ABS, you can actually turn it into super motor mode, so you can do skids on it.
So I know that KTM in particular are pretty good at turning out these badass kind of prototype teaser videos, and with 790 Duke, it looked like the exhaust had been routed under the seats. What are we saying?
Yeah, so on that prototype, it was absolutely savage. That exhaust was like MotoGP style, like on the old Hondas. It was just a prototype. We absolutely grilled them because it looked awesome, absolutely immense. Like that was pretty much a dream for
Most of us.
Yeah, for someone that's not old. And because everything there is built for function, the exhaust just couldn't get it routed up there with emissions laws, and with the fact that the airbox is housed in there as well, there just wasn't the space. There was a rumour that we'd be getting a little bit of track time on a go-kart track just to give them a proper go and see how they hold up.
Go-karts? I wonder if there'll be cake and juice afterwards.
Always cake and juice.
Be like a birthday party. So as much as I might laugh at how stupid Carl looks in his stupid holy jeans with his stupid holy hair, he's a British superstock racer. He's way faster than I am. He's way faster than pretty much all of you are, I'm guessing. He knows how bikes ride and he knows how to ride bikes. So when you're about to tell us about what this bike is like on road and track, I think we just need to make sure that the viewers at home aren't looking at you and assuming you don't know what you're doing. So hopefully I've qualified that. And now you can tell me what it's like.
We started off, we had about probably 100 miles worth of absolutely stunningly gorgeous roads. They were so tight, the tarmac was good, it was third, fourth gear sweeping corners into second, first gear hairpins, and it was here where the 790 Duke absolutely shone. To start with, I think the first thing to talk about is the engine. With the new design, it's so punchy, there's so much power, it likes to be revved, but it picks up so quick. As soon as you're hitting that ride-by-wire throttle, the power delivery is just so instant, and the soundtrack is unbelievable.
And what mode did you put it in? A particular mode? Did the anti-wheelie or traction control get in the way or anything like that?
Yeah, so I started off in street and very quickly went to track, because you can change it all via the TFT dash really easy. It's
on the fly?
Yeah, on the fly, a couple of buttons, just shut the throttle and it changes. You will find if you run the traction control quite high, it's fairly intrusive when it doesn't need to be. The cornering ABS is absolutely stunning. You can barely even feel that, and you can really, really lean on it. Like really lean on it.
So you're talking about carrying brake all the way to the apex?
Yeah, absolutely, just burying that front end.
And it's not kind of doing what ABS normally does?
No, it's not trying to push the lever away and kill you. It's actually doing a good job to save you. And as soon as you do that, as soon as you jump off, you're back on the throttle. If you've got the traction control off, you'll find that there's more than enough grip with the Maxxis tyres. The Supermax STs do a stunning job of getting that 105 horsepower down to the road. The engine's quite peaky, and when we're sitting at about 15 to 20 mile an hour, it is a little bit...
Chuggy?
A little bit chuggy, yeah. And the quick shifter, obviously, when you're in such low revs, it's not enjoying itself so much. But if you turn the shifter off, you put it into rain mode, it's basically a T-Max for getting around town. It's so easy.
Now, I'm not a huge fan of nicknames, but apparently this bike's called the Scalpel, which means it's got to be...
Sharp? Stab ya? Yeah.
Stabby?
Yeah, stabby.
I'm guessing that they're inferring that on track this thing is a little bit of a weapon. Got 3 sessions out on track where we could try out the track mode properly and go at
give
it.
it a spanking.
So no warmers or warmers?
Oh, no warmers.
Same tyres, everything?
Same tyres. We didn't even change tyre pressures. We were just all a bit excited, to be honest, just to get out and give it a spank.
So how did the character transfer between road and track? Same good manners, same easy to ride nature, or did it get sharp, pointy and dangerous? Like a scalpel?
It did actually get sharp, pointy, but not so dangerous, to be honest. Like, obviously straight in track mode, everything off, just chuck everything out the window, and it surprised me how good the bike was. The suspension, it worked really well on the roads, and you got it on track, even though it's not adjustable, it just held up so well with everything we were throwing at it. You could literally drum on the anchor and it wasn't diving on power, it wasn't sitting. It actually felt like a proper bike to ride, which I know it sounds strange, but it felt at home on the track.
Yeah. So you could do like a Brands Indy track day on it, no worries.
Yeah, I think Silverstone's probably going to be a bit out of the question, but somewhere like Brands Indy or Lidden or Knockhill is absolutely spot on, and you'd have a proper laugh doing it.
So to summarise, if you're a sports bike guy and you're looking at one of these, is it a downward step or a sideways move?
It's got to be a sideways move, to be honest. I'm surprised I'm saying that, because I'm a bit of a sports bike fiend, but it's absolutely stunning, and KTM delivering it to you for under $8,500 on the road, which is a steal in my eyes. I think they've really hit the nail on the head of getting the right amount of bike within the right price, not being too expensive, not leaving too much out of it. They've been working hard on it.
So it sounds like they've built your perfect bike. All you need to do is go out and rob a few more old ladies in Croydon and you're good to go.
Or your pension.
You probably couldn't fit it in your pocket.